Valley Bank, right there. The next one is the drugstore by Dr. Cloud. The third one is a music building by Merrill's. And the next one is a furniture store by Thompson's. And there's like Highest Building, and there's the Deering Building. Bijou Theater, it's a silent movie theater, and it's the one that had the tunnel over to the gambling center, by the way. So the people, the good people just come and go to a movie, go through the tunnel and gamble up, and the movie was over, they'd come out door like they've been in a movie all day. Good going. You see the Tuscumbia Theater, it's not there yet. I got one picture that shows the train going down the track here, by the way. Also see the cable car lines? Wires for the cable car, here's the cable car track. These streets are made out of concrete. There's still concrete on there, there's 6 inches of concrete. Every time they work on there, if you go around the workers, you might not put your fingers in the ears. That gives them a lot of trouble working on the street.
So what about time frame, is that 1930s or 20s?
You identify the cars, you tell me.
Yeah,
That's what I would say looking at these about that.
maybe right before World War II.
The oldest commercial building in the state of Alabama.
Huh.
It was built in 1824. It was moved in by the Sutherland brothers, and they were the ones involved in the Alamo. The owner's youngest son, one of them, he was the youngest man killed at the Alamo when they moved to Texas. Kirk Isbell building. How many have ever seen those two buildings before? Here's the railroad track on 5th Street. This is Main Street. These were built in late, about 1890. All your stores were in the lower one. Your businesses, such as your barbers and stuff, were on the second one, and the top one was offices. It's probably the biggest building that's ever built in Tuscumbia. Well, hotel probably was bigger. 5th Street, Main. The palace would be right across the street, right over here.
Oh, okay.
Streetcar going down the track on the same block.
Huh.
You can see there's the Isbell building, there's the Masonic Lodge, and there's the Sutherland building, the oldest commercial building. Like many things in Tuscumbia, it was destroyed by fire.
I guess that's what happened to it.
There it is. That's what it looks like the morning after the fire. Destroyed those two buildings.
What year was that?
1914, I think. Yeah, July 17th, 1914.
That was a big loss.
Yeah, that was a big loss. This is the old Carver County, one of the bicentennial parade. One that was so long that this end was in Tuscumbia, the other end was still in Sheffield. You can see theater. Drugstore, I went in this building many times as a kid. Dime store. See, you find a dime store today. What can you buy for a dime? Probably can't pay the taxes on whatever you bought with that.
About what year was that?
50s, late 50s, I think. There's the Dexter band going through in 66. And you can see what was on that side of the street at that time.
I think I can remember that. The ladies all dressed up in the old
Yeah, that
time.
thing. The guys had dress over beards.
Yeah, right.
And the theater.
For the years.
That's where I went to a theater all the time. And Saturday it was what? 10 RC bottle caps and you get in?
I think it was.
10 bottle caps. Tim brought 10 RC bottle caps, you get in, watch a movie on Saturday morning. Oh, the biggest thing surprised to me about this theater, the concession stands in the center of the theater, but it's got an outside entrance. you want some of that good old popcorn that they made, you could walk up from the outside, walk up that window and buy some. You didn't have to go in.
Oh.
So you find a theater that way today. The Bijou Theater, silent movie theater. This is what it looked like back then. It's the earliest picture I could find of it. But you can see where he went in. The two little windows you see up at the top where it says billiards, that's where the operations were, where they had all the screens and everything else up front. You went in that door right there. It was the first building built for a silent movie theater. It's still standing today, and so is the other one, which was not built for a theater. This is what, in the 1960s, what the palace looked like. It ain't changed much, has it? Fifth Street, now we'll go down Fifth Street. Of course, good old commercial realm. But there's one thing about commercial realm. Switch stand for the railroad. Middle of Fifth Street, how long would that last today? Saloon, I got a picture inside of that saloon. The man was shot and killed in it, and they took a picture of it. The saloon. Chap said when he became commissioner, there was 7 saloons on 5th Street in Tuscumbia.
John, is part of that building still standing?
Do what?
That whole structure, there's part of that still standing?
Oh, that's still standing.
Well, I thought it was, okay.
Commercial realm. Now, the steps and all this is gone, right here.
Yeah.
This is the watch store. Right here is where all the trainmen had to go and get their watches done. My dad would take his in and have it done every year. Get it certified. The second oldest structure in Tuscumbia, and been instructor, the Keaghy, Keaghy, how you pronounce it, I don't know. Keaghy building. Store was here, he lived upstairs. This was where his help worked. A man named Downey worked in this one, the one that he hired to take care of it. This is the old Tuscumbia City Hotel. Today, I don't know if it has that name today now, but a fire burned it off the top of 55, and they took the whole top off of it. Now it's only a 2-story building.
What is it now? What's in the building now?
Where is it?
What's in it? Is there a business in it now?
No,
No one in it now?
Gary Underwood had his office.
He had it in
So you
there.
Still see some of that, advertising for Gary Underwood when he ran for this, House of Representatives. And it was Bill Johnson's old law office for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Is that the
So,
building
you know,
that they
it's a green
stuccoed
building.
over
It's a green
it?
building.
I'm
Yeah.
still trying to
Did they
picture what
put
it is.
stucco over this
It's a
building
green
today?
building.
Is
Standing in the
Okay,
town.
okay.
It's painted, you know, I don't know.
Larry
That
Rivers
looks like
owns
the building that they told us that was torn down, that used to be the police station.
The police, this was, yeah, this is the old police station. This
You
was the
can
old police
still
station.
see the outline of it on that building
Yeah, you
that's
can
still
see the outline
standing.
here. This is the police station. In the days when they started out with cars and motorcycles, they didn't have radios. So the police car was supposed to come around about every 15 minutes and drive by. If the porch light was on, that means they got a call. Come in and see what your assignment is. The old First National Bank, I can tell you when this picture was taken. There they are building Tuscumbia Theater. They built it in 1950. So this building was built in the 1830s. You'll see in it Franklin House. It was built for a man from North Carolina. He came here for the purpose of building that because he knew this was going to be a big railroad town. He built it, sold it, went back home to North Carolina and became a senator in North Carolina.
What was his name, Johnny?
What's that?
The man's name?
Doggone you, you had to ask.
I just-
Colonel Robert Ransom was the guy. Robert Ransom that built
Okay,
it.
all right.
I have my notes with me today. I had no sense to put some notes out.
That's a big building.
Yes, it is. It had 200 rooms. And there was a price for everything. And I got the printout sheet. For a candle, it cost you an extra nickel. If you had candles in there for night. Stuff like that. If you had the water bowl in there furnished and taken care of, and that was so much a night. There were so many add-ons down through there.
Now, could you get to the gambling place from this building?
It's under it. It's the basement of this building.
Oh, so you could go there? if
Yeah, you
wanted
go in
to
the front
gamble.
door, and I understand the stairway was right down here. You had guns and stuff on. You had to drop them off before you went down the stairs.
Hey, John, could you, I'm not getting ahead of you, but I didn't mean to, but could you tell a little bit about that historic Franklin House, which was also named the Challen House later, I think, before it burned, but especially about during the Civil War. And Mary's ancestor on her mother's side, Dr. James Lawrence Burke, was shot down in that pool room bar down there.
Yeah.
He tried to break the fire, and he shot, he got in between them, got shot upside the head in 1866, and he died.
Yeah, that's, like I said, it was a pretty rough place.
Was that the trains?
Now, this is the passenger train
I know.
going west, because they had assignment that when the train came in,
Train station.
we didn't have a passenger depot. This is what they used until we built the one we got now. It was here, and it had a fancy restaurant in it. The restaurant had a contract with the railroad. So they would pull up, everybody go in there because the ticket included the meal. The railroad, the freight trains, they know what's going on. They're gonna go and get their free meal too. So both of them are here getting their free meal. Now, when the engineer blew that whistle, I don't know where you finished eating or not, you better get out here. He's warning you, he's fixing to leave. With or without you. Now, the difference in they are now, back then they would serve you beer. Train crew and all.
Hey, John, I know you're interested in trains now too, but I want you to tell a little bit about history to the group about during the Civil War, some important generals had their headquarters in the state, like General
Yeah,
Hood. in November
both of them, everybody could use
1864.
that building.
Union generals, yeah.
Yeah, everybody used that building for it. Or they used the houses like, the Christian home,
Yeah.
or up here in town, one that Andrew has.
Did they use the mansion house on Courthouse Square?
I never saw anything about it. I found very little in the mansion house. See, again, here we go again. There's two mansion houses in Tuscumbia. One's brick, one's wooden. One's a big wooden structure that was used for a school, hotel, and everything else. The one up on the courthouse lawn, I believe, was David Dessler's original house. Because he owned the whole block. And when he died, he still owned that block and that house. So, having two mansion houses really can cause a problem when you're trying to research. The train that you saw was parked right here. This is the building after they remodeled it. This is your Franklin house, became the Parcel house. He liked the new design of the courthouse, so he put the top on it like the courthouse. Didn't put an elevator in it, and it'll burn down. Fire started in the elevator.
I said that wrong, I meant parcel house, yes.
Yeah, Parcel house.
What are they doing climbing those poles?
Well, they did it for the picture, but can you imagine if OSHA showed up? You'll see, these guys are just about sitting up there, held by these guys here. This one's standing up on the sideline, the thing bounced on it.
Yeah.
There's one up there sitting on the wire, see him? Where the wire's crossed, he's sitting on it.
Oh, my goodness.
See him sitting up there? They did that for the picture. What would happen if our government came by there today? They had fun making that picture. Pastor McKinney coming to Tuscumbia. This is on Main Street, 5th Street. You see the crowd showing up. There's the old hotel, the high top over there, and here's the palace. He stopped there and spoke to Tuscumbia. The depot on opening day, this is the only picture I ever found of it on opening day. It was very poor quality. It had been wrinkled up, it had been, but at least I got it, it had the names on it. So I know who the first people were. 1888, 1905, 1906. Here comes your train in right here. There's the passenger cars that it comes in, switches off the main line over to this track. Now, when the train stopped, it didn't stop for the passengers, it stopped for the luggage So wherever the luggage car is, or baggage car, whatever you want to call it, it's going to park right here where all baggage is. If you're on the back end of that train, tough luck, you're on the back end of that train, you're going to have to walk all the way up here. And we're going to stop wherever the baggage was. And sometimes you'll see the engine was all the way down to Tuscumbia, the baggage was on the rear. Last train backing out. Let's go, this again was a bad picture, but I wanted it. Last tickets. There's your last crew. She had to back out. This train would stop at First Street Station and Fifth Street Station. They're 5 blocks apart. Boy, isn't that a long way for a train to stop at 2 stations? All right, it stopped at First. It'd come in here. Now they'll have to back out past First, get on the main line to go to Memphis. And he's backing out now. That already tore the tracks up, so it didn't go through town anymore. The last trains that went through town were the service trains during World War II. They bypassed Sheffield, went through Tuscumbia. Here it is pulling into Sheffield Station for the first time the next day. Nice crowd for first day in. This is on Water Street. The fireplace top you see up here, chimney, that's the depot today, so I'll give you some idea where it is. This is Water Street. The track getting ready to turn down 6th Street. This is where Chidester had his stagecoach. How many have ever heard of the Chidester Stage Company? Well, when they moved to Arkansas, how many ever heard of Overland Stage Company? Every TV movie just about got Overland. Well, he was on an Overland stage. When he died, I think he had over 2,000 horses prepared for stages. I forgot how many stagecoaches he had. It was unbelievable. His stage still a shrine in Arkansas today.
John, you mean David Desher, the father of,
No,
John James Desher?
Chidester. Chidester.
I was spelled.
Chidester Stage Company.
I'm sorry.
He had the stages in 1857 when they opened the trains up. He packed everything else and went west. Trains took his business. Then he formed Overland. Then the Martin Agricultural Works moved in, and that's them here. They had contract to build all this agricultural stuff. They take it here, they take it over and put it on a train, shipped it all over the United States. All right, between 3rd and 4th on Main. Strand Theater. Anybody in here went to the Strand? You went to the Strand? Just one of you went to the Strand Theater? Yeah. 2 of you. My mother went and talked about what a nice building all it was. It's where the Church of Christ Annex is today. So that's where it was. You had the old, I don't know what they call it, Young's carriage shop. I think it's what the North Bus go out here, and then they had the theater here. And it was much more elaborate than the Tuscumbia Theater, but the Tuscumbia Theater had one thing that put this one out of business. Air conditioning! Here's the carriage house, one of the oldest structures that used to be in Tuscumbia. I think it's built in 1823, 24, right in there. And here you see the Strand Theater. That one's not a good picture, but it's the only one I had with that angle. Cardiff Hotel, still there today, but not a hotel.